The road to the 2013 NHL Draft took me to London, Ontario on Friday night, where the Knights hosted the Erie Otters. 4 players on the October edition of Craigslist Top 30, 3 on the London Knights, 1 on the Erie Otters. And I'll start with the Erie Otters' Stephen Harper, a player, really good skater, uses his skating to get an advantage, move past people. He's got a really good shot, can score from it. With a good playmaking center, he can get open and take advantage of that type of complementary play. One of the things I look for in a player like Stephen Harper, he may not be a guy that's going to punish you, but with that type of size, you want to see him gain advantages and hold them and put pressure on defenders, either by using his skating to get an advantage and now making them come through him with his body, or backing up because they know that he can overpower them. A really good, strong, two-way player that has the potential to be somewhat of a power-type forward, but certainly a guy that I believe has every reason to advance to the NHL and be a solid NHLer. On the London side, 3 players, and I'm going to start with a big man on defense, Nikita Zadorov. Big might be an understatement because he's 6'5", over 225 pounds. And he's a guy that when you talk about big men, you sometimes wonder, how is their skating? His skating is very good. Excellent stride, can get up the ice quickly, but outstanding agility and feet work that he uses to play a real strong defense, close on defenders. And when you're playing against him, there's not a lot of room to maneuver. Very good vision. He gets the puck moving up ice. I think as time is going on, he's getting more comfortable playing an offensive style. He's got an excellent shot, a shot that is alive and makes it very difficult on goaltenders because he can score from the blue line, a rarity in hockey players today because the goaltending is so good. Physicality, very, very good. Not only big, but he asserts with it. And he's not afraid to step up and punish people in the open ice or along the boards. Not a fun night to play against Nikita Zadorov. And when you talk about everything that he possesses, all I can think of when I talk about him is the great Larry Robinson, a guy that could impact physically, from a skill point of view, and one of the all-time great NHL defensemen. Moving to the forward ranks, Max Domi, son of former NHLer Ty Domi, who played 1,000 games, but a very different player than his father. No less determined, though, and a guy, when he skates, his first or second step could be as good as any because he really uses that to get open and to give himself some space and room when he's playing the game, coming off the boards, trying to get into scoring position. Excellent vision. He really understands the game. He understands where the other players are on the ice. He understands where the pressure points are and where to attack with them. So when you combine that with a really high ice Q, you get a player that is able to take advantage of multiple situations. And Max is the type of player that can play in multiple situations, multiple positions, very versatile. And he can play offense, he can play defense. And while he may not be the biggest, maybe tall might be a better way to put it, he's a very sturdy player. He reminds me a lot of Thomas Plekanec in terms of style. And in terms of stature, might be a little bit of a cross between Steve Thomas and the late Peter Zezel. As well, Bo Horvat, just a really good two-way forward, can play left wing, can play center. He's one of those players you hear coaches talk about, just an all-rounder. Don't underestimate Bo Horvat. He's the type of player that coaches like to have out there because his hockey sense is so good, not only offensively but defensively. Good skater, but because the sense is so outstanding on the ice, he always knows where to be. He knows where the situation is unfolding in all areas of the game. So he uses that to gain an extra second or an extra step to get to the puck. Competitiveness, outstanding. And he's a competitor in the true sense of the word. He'll do anything to help the team win. And that's why coaches love him. That's why he's been a captain of teams on his way up through the ranks and will probably find his way to the captaincy in the NHL. That's what type of leader he is. Sacrifice, block shots, anything to help the team win. Now back to the Erie Otters. You're going to hear the name Connor McDavid if you haven't heard it already. Leading up to the 2015 draft, he will be a player that will have tremendous focus on him. The third player to gain exceptional status at entry into the Ontario Hockey League is a 15-year-old. He is exceptional. And when you talk about him, you talk about hockey sense. You hear about hockey sense, it's off the charts. Guess what? His is off the charts. You see, it's a 6. It might even be a 7. That's how good his hockey sense is. He's not one step ahead of everybody. He's 2 and 3 and 4 steps ahead of everybody. And as Walter Gretzky said about the great one, you want to be where the puck's going, not where it is. That's exactly what Connor is about. Always thinking exploit, always thinking how he's going to attack the opposition, always thinking about how he can be creative. You talk about playmaking along with that superior ice Q. You're talking about a guy that can make plays any which way or form on the ice. He not only breaks down opponents, he breaks down teams, and he becomes the focus of their efforts. A shot right now that might not be at the top of the charts. Same with the skating. But I have no doubt in my mind that once he gains that physical maturity and strength, he will be excellent in those areas, which will only make him that much more dangerous. And when you talk about a player for the 2015 draft, 3 years away from now, you're talking about a guy that is truly exceptional. And I can only say this, if there's a player that's in his category, that player too will be exceptional and very special. I'm Craig Button, TSN Scout.